Norwich Castle sits proudly as the jewel in the crown of the city's urban landscape, dominating the skyline for 1,000 years. Its walls have stood the test of time, and it remains one of the most prominent buildings in the whole of East Anglia. In medieval times, the castle was one of the most important secular buildings across the whole of Europe. Its iconic profile has become a symbol of the city's rich medieval heritage. In its long life, Norwich Castle has served as a royal palace, the city's prison, and today a museum housing priceless collections of art, textiles, and artifacts that reflect the region's history. Each phase of the castle's life has left distinctive marks on its walls. Each mark represents a story. Stories locked inside the walls, with more yet hidden.
Norwich Castle is one of the largest and most elaborate of the great Romanesque castles in the whole of Europe. We want to restore the historic and architectural integrity of Norwich Castle. We want people to understand the building and to recognise it as the grand royal palace it once was under the Norman kings. In turn, we want this to become the premier must-see heritage and tourism destination in the whole region.
Imagine the scene. Henry I at table with his queen, the gold of his crown glimmering in the soft light of a Norfolk sky through the window, his robes of rich red velvet. This is a vision that can only be realized through detailed understanding of this remarkable building, through studies, surveys, excavation, and digital reconstruction.
Our partnership in Norwich and in Norfolk is one of the most important for us anywhere in the country, where we've been absolutely thrilled to have been invited by our colleagues in Norfolk Museum Service to work together with them in support of the Castle Keep project at Norwich Castle. We're particularly thrilled that objects from the British Museum collection will be able to be present in the new displays in the rejuvenated Castle Keep. It's going to allow those objects to reach out to new audiences in Norfolk and from throughout the country and throughout the world. And it'll allow the British Museum to be the museum of the whole country, a national museum for everyone, in a way that simply previously wasn't possible.
In Norwich, the city of stories, the castle has always taken centre stage. For 10 centuries, people of all kinds have trodden a path to it. The restoration of the castle's medieval keep will once again draw those that our medieval ancestors called strangers from far and wide, bringing wealth as they always have.
We now want to recreate the original layout of the building in order that our visitors can understand the surviving architecture and that they can discover and explore Norwich's lost castle.
Looking out from Norwich Castle, we feel an extraordinary link to the past. The Norfolk landscape, lush farmland, sparkling water and big skies. The landscape that our ancestors gazed upon 1,000 years ago. Henry I has looked up from his feast, has momentarily silenced his company and is looking us straight in the eye. His challenge is evident. His purpose is clear. For prosperity, for the sake of history, for the future of this fine city, he says, it's time to take back Norwich Castle.